These grants are all available with tons of money available. But no, government's not going to knock on your door and be like, oh, hey, by the way, here's some money for you. It just means I need to make you money before I make money.
It just sounds too good to be true.
That's what I'm saying. Why is my phone not ringing? I'm just looking at this ring. It's not. So save yourself time, save yourself the energy, the stress, the headache, and maybe even the potential money that you would lose, and let Ayming help.
Yeah. Love that. What a salesman.
I love it. I'm not sitting here selling you products in any way. You know what I mean? I want to make sure there's money there for you. I'll just match the money for your needs. There you go, right? But a lot of people don't do that, and just they walk away from that money right on the table, which is insane.
So they're basically like shredding money.
Yeah. No. We have no shredders. It's not like, oh, we don't need the money right now. It's more the fact that there's money there so you can grow to maybe have more hiring done, people having more jobs.
We had one guy on the show who was a recruiter.
Yeah.
Like this is like... Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new exciting podcast. My name is JJ Vola. Alongside here is my co-host, Cal. Welcome to another exciting episode of What Do You Do podcast. Today, we have Ramesh here with us today. Thank you, Ramesh, for being part of today's podcast. Give everybody... Hey, thank you. Give everybody a little brief description of what you do and who you are.
All right. I work for Ayming Canada. I'm a business development manager for grants, funding, anything SRED. We basically fund innovation, right? On top of that, I actually have a family business as well, so we import, export organic tea and spices. So a little bit of hats, but Ayming gives me a good idea of how businesses are able to, fund their, current plans, initiatives, just to help what we do. Get the Canadian market, expand the Canadian market.
Awesome. That's great. Well, I look forward to diving in, and let's talk about your journey as work life. Like, what was some of your first jobs? Walk us through your work life history.
So work life wise, I have been in customer service and sales for a very long time. So even when I started working, that's what it was. But I did work at Taco Bell for a while. It was a great job. Taco flips, man, it was amazing. I could do those 10 taco flips. It was a thing. Coming out of that Canadian experience wise, just kind of growing from there, I got into sales. I was at Rogers, all the retail jobs you can get into. But the biggest thing that I kind of changed my sales and just customer service and client relations and just the whole, business development side of things was actually the auto industry. I was with Toyota for, I think, over about 5-6 years, thanks to great networking, good friends. I got into Toyota. I actually worked with Paul Coffey, which was awesome. I love the guy. He'd be the guy working out up top, and while we're, trying to make some sales, I didn't have to negotiate much deals. I just go up to the client. I'm like, okay, so let's get this deal done. He goes, okay, well, we can do it, but can you get a signature from Paul? Can we get a picture with Paul? And I'm like, that's all it was. So I'm like, I'll go upstairs, Paul. I have about five of them for you. You wanna come down? I'm like, all right, yeah, perfect. So love the guy. But then I kind of moved away from the business because a lot of these group owners started buying the dealerships out. So that made it a little challenging for me to kind of stay with the auto industry and kind of, slowly moved out of it. But this was the good times when negotiation was there, when commission was still a thing. Nowadays there's zero personality, I would say. I don't know, when I go to the car dealerships, I'm like, what happened? What happened here?
It's true. It's true. I came from the car sales too,
right.
And it's definitely a dying art now, right? Because just what's so available on social media, or not social media, but even like online platforms that people would have to be so educated before they even come in the door nowadays.
Absolutely.
Right? You don't really need a salesperson. You just need somebody to show you the vehicle.
Yep.
And here's the numbers. That's really it.
AI is going to be taking up most of these jobs anyways, the next little bit. So
people are just like ordering stuff online, right? Like, Tesla online, just go there, pick it up, boom. Like, what you're getting.
Absolutely.
So much information online about them and whatnot. So, but even to back it up a little bit. So did you go to school or anything like that?
Yes. So I went to Sheridan. I had my business degree basically from Sheridan as well. But mainly, the education moving into the international business side with Ryerson, I kind of got into working, because family-wise, we had a family business going. It wasn't easy for my family to start funding college and university, and for me to start doing that myself and helping with the business, it was really challenging. Because when we moved here, I moved in 2000, so I left 97 when the war was going on. I was literally in the heart of it, having to deal with leaving a great life. We had everything from like help to drivers to you name it. I was in the middle of that 97 bombing and dealing with that. Coming out, my parents had to start moving everything, their whole life, left housing, left absolutely everything, just to move me to a better life, which is a beautiful thing. It's a blessing, right? Coming out here, my parents, of course, Canadian experience is required, so they had to, start working right off the bat. And for me, having to go to school and do college, that was That was good enough to kind of have my degree going in, and I moved out of that just to make sure that I, to start working, getting just funding and making sure that we, have an income coming in from my lifestyle as well, or doing whatever. I mean, as a young kid, especially out here, you can't rely on having an allowance. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, it's expensive out here. So, my dad actually started his business about a few years after getting the Canadian experience here as well, and with that, just helping them out whenever I can, jumping in. That was my journey, kind of starting off, especially with the family business as well. So for me, I help them with all their website stuff or whatever they're doing with the trade shows and you name it. Even to this day, where every farmers markets, they love this stuff. I mean, tea has been a part of my dad's life for a very long time. So I'm blended into it. Even though I have my vice, I have things that I do. I'm like, I don't tell my parents. I'm like, I drink coffee sometimes in the morning. But
better not.
Yeah, better not. Yeah. But they've kind of created a healthy environment around me, giving me the best education in regards to health and your personal health, not necessarily having to take pills all the time, and all those kind of things really help me kind of be this healthy individual, not having any sort of dietary restrictions or health issues or anything like that. So I see the value in it, and they kind of brought this in, and to this day, 20 years plus, we've been running a tea business, which is amazing.
Wow.
And for me, I don't really culturally, we don't really take an income out of our family business, right? At the end of the day, it might be mine. So what I need to do is basically kind of grow myself as well, just understand other parts of how the business works. It's the sales side, marketing side. So is it the logistics side? So everything that I've learned, even to come in with Ayming, gives me a good understanding as to what business needs are.
Yeah.
Right. So it really helps me to kind of work with companies, understand the side of it with the mom and pop shops, all the way from small businesses, all the way to like large scale businesses as well. So I've worked with a lot of companies, especially working with Toyota. You get to see that big scale of manufacturing, ordering, the process, of costs, everything. So
Right.
I was a sales manager for the dealership as well as moving into that role. I didn't want to get to the next step of GM or anything like that, but it was just nonsense at the end. So that's the only reason I got out of it. But staying with working with my family company, I've been doing, alternating between any other job that I've been having with my family and their business as well. So anything I can bring into the business, anything I can help them with, any ideas, any changes to the websites, like we just changed our website as well. That's something that I have to put 2 websites here if I'm promoting the business, but
Right.
Slowly bringing that into place, increasing social media, all the the regular stuff. So
Now for the tea business, is it like your direct to consumer? Do you have a storefront? Like
we're a wholesaler distributor.
okay, wholesale.
Right. So we're a wholesaler distributor, and we basically have private labeling now too. So any companies that's actually buying teas, we have a couple of companies in the U.S., some companies that was even in shows like Oprah and stuff like that. They actually had our tea.
No way.
There. So, and again, we bring it from all over the world. We bring it from like, South Africa, India, China, you name it. My mom's really good with like connecting like that. The prices, I'm a pretty good negotiator, but
Yeah.
man, she can get a product for free sometimes. Like, here you go, please take it.
How did you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right?
wow, that's cool.
I still remember as a kid, I wanted a toy, and the guy just said, you know what, after negotiation, he's like, you know what, just take it, kid. Just take it. So a wholesale distributor. You could buy our teas either online or a lot of these stores like Big Carrot and Nature's Food. Any of those kind of companies that are private health food companies, rather than a big company like Whole Food or Walmart. My parents really don't want to focus on that. So we are a wholesale distributor for a lot of companies. Right, even right now, Big Carrot is one of our really big clients, and we move a lot of products through that. Right out in Toronto on Danforth, I think. So
Right.
yeah,
Now, is it all made in Canada, or is it made overseas and then comes over?
made overseas.
Yeah.
So things like rooibos, South African teas, matcha, Japanese teas. We got the English breakfast, the orange pekoes, Sri Lankan. You can find that in the plantations back home. So we try to bring Chinese teas as well. Everything. We literally bring it from every
Wow.
every continent at this point.
That's
So
great.
200 plus, close to 200 teas. Yeah, plus
200.
spices now. Cinnamon is one of the best cinnamon you can find literally out there. All
Wow.
the spices we get right now, we're bringing in. So I mean,
That's great. Who wants? Yeah. Who wants some tea? We should add some tea.
Absolutely. And if your business is buying tea and you have any shred or grants, I'm still the guy. I love
That's
it.
great.
If anybody
Wow.
did want to get in touch and if they wanted to carry tea or whatever it may be, what's the name of the company?
Organic. It's Nature's Cup Organic Tea. So it's naturescup.com is where you can find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so many benefits with tea that
Huge.
I mean, can you share some of those that are out there?
So with the tea side, matcha is, I would say, a daily thing. Just a dose of matcha is like almost having a little glass of kombucha. Having matcha in your day, it improves your immune system all around. There's things like moringa, which is actually something I just talked to Eddie about, our mutual friend. And it's his gut health. It helps your gut health all the way through digestion. So there's every nature has something in nature to be able to help something in your body, something in your your health issues. You don't need to rush in and jump into the medical side of things. You can definitely heal yourself with what's available in nature, and that's what we try to push for right now, right? So matcha is a huge thing I could definitely recommend, and moringa right now is the boost that you can find there. But we have teas now separating to things like men's health, women's health, right? Focusing on those aspects of it. So what my change is going to be is to kind of focus on the health aspect of it and slowly bring that as a marketing strategy rather than so the tea that we focus on and the clients we have know what the product is. They'll come directly beelining for that product, right? Opposed to a lot of people just walking on, they have to ask what it is. ChatGPT is available. I mean, you can probably plug it in and find out what it's for. But I mean, the regular consumer walking through a farmer's market, want to see what that product is. You want to know what the benefits are. So if you have a health reason that you're getting the tea for, I want to kind of focus on those soon. So that's going to be in the works. But for now, you have every tea variety. If you have something in mind, even if it's like David's Tea, I don't know, they're not there anymore. But the reason also is, of course, overhead. They had all these name brands for teas, but the name brands for these teas had, they were actually a mixture of different types of tea. We have all those mixtures. So we have the separate raw form of each of these. So if there's something you need, we can find out what that product is and literally make it for you. So we can customize those teas as well. So benefit-wise, I mean, wow. Every possible benefit. I mean, I could go as far as cancer. I mean, I'm not going to say I cure cancer, but I'm telling you, the benefit is that prevention. To be able to get to that stage, you want to avoid it all around. Tea is amazing for you. So, health food.
What's the most popular tea that's out there? Say,
I mean, when I say popular, it's more the fact that people go for the regular green teas. So the matcha right now, I would say, is the biggest boost in popularity because they're hearing about it. The method of making matcha is not necessarily done properly because a lot of people put hot water in it. You got to put like cold or lukewarm water. So matcha, however, is huge in the teas. You find it at Starbucks. You can find it with a milkshake. You can find it with ice cream. So they're using that, but the product quality is very different from when you find matcha at like a regular store buying it from Walmart or something like that to buying it from a high grade supplier, right? You can taste the difference. I literally gave it to one of my colleagues at work. She ran up to me. She's like, "Oh my God, this is the matcha that I want. I bought this matcha last week. This is not matcha, right? This is great." So that change in taste you can feel because the grain quality, it's basically the purest form of green tea, right?
And I've had matcha before, and
there you go.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's a unique flavor for sure. It's definitely not for everybody.
Nope.
And it has like weird little.
But if you get bitter, that means you put hot water.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. See,
I've never thought about
every
that,
day.
man. Not like having hot water with tea, right? Like,
definitely different temperatures for each tea. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. It brings a proper flavor out, right? So that's a tea side of things.
Yeah. Wait till we get to the other stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Wow. Well, it sounds like a great family business. And how long has it been up and running for?
20 years. So.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 years now. And again, it's just, being in the business, especially having cultural backgrounds too, and this is something I noticed getting into a company like Ayming, right, is the mentality of a lot of these small businesses to medium-sized businesses that are not really exploring the grant, landscape, is that they are not aware this is available, first of all, because it's convoluted. You look on CRA websites and just go through what's available, no way. You're not going to figure out what's there unless you're spending a ton of time. And then that's not even the first layer of issues. You're now dealing with the fact that, how do I do it? What's that convoluted process, right? So my parents wouldn't have gone through a lot of these kind of things if I wasn't actually explaining the processes or understanding the process of being in the industry itself for them to see, how to navigate that. But it's just that hesitation. It's that, pushback. It's like, okay, no, I don't want to do it. It's a little bit of a risk, right? But there's money on the table, right? Canada wants you to, they want you to innovate. They want you to, keep business in Canada. They don't want you to export and find stuff out there. They want you to find how you're going to do it here. Mm-hmm. So for 20 years or so, what I've been doing is a slower process to kind of grow from where we could, where we are to where we need to go. But it does help, like when when I wanted to open up a storefront, my dad said, no, that's, we're wholesale distributor. We're doing fine. We don't need to open up a store. He was hesitant, but of course he had it open. But if he did, however, we might not be here right now because as you notice, a lot of these health food, tea companies are not necessarily available in stores as much as it was since COVID, right? It's unfortunate, but all these little things that we notice, it has kept us maintaining our pace. But I like knowing me. I mean, I like to scale it out as far as possible. I give him all the ideas in the sky. He's like, let me just drive out there first, So my dad's very, he wants to make sure the consumer is getting the best possible deal, which is good. He wants to make sure the quality is great, which is amazing. I'm always very particular about the price points that are going to be available in stores. Having overhead just means you're going to be paying more. So if you have a fancy store, you're going to be paying for that point. So realistically, wholesale distributor has given them the opportunity to have storage facilities to kind of just bring it in and out. So we're based in Oakville, Dorval. But again, we're everywhere. So which is good. Yeah. Wow.
And plus less issues, from a retail side of things, returns, all that stuff that you got to go through.
Any returns, I mean, no problem. I don't think we've ever had someone say, hey, we don't like your product, here you go. Unless there was like maybe a package that was damaged from a large order that's coming in, not necessarily our control, but we're like, no problem, we'll figure it out. But yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I'm thinking about it now. It's a good point. I'm like, we don't get a lot of returns, so it's a good sign.
That's a good. Well, just in a sense of retail, I mean, I'm sure Starbucks deals with that every day, it's right? Crazy, Tim Hortons, right? Hey, coffee's too cold, tea's too cold, make me a new one, right?
Put in the microwave.
There's definitely, I'm sure, a lot of cost burning every day, right? Versus this, being a wholesaler, you don't have to worry about it as much.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's great.
Exactly.
Wow.
Price points, because I think the biggest issue is just regards to size, volume, and all that, but no big. Never really have a client saying, oh my God, your tea's not great. It's highest grade possible, best quality possible. Otherwise, we don't waste our time.
That's great. Wow, good stuff.
So you don't sell to the consumer at all. You sell to...
We can sell to the consumer as well. Okay. Yeah, so we can, if you give us, go through the website, let us know. I mean, my mom controls a lot of the communication in there. So if there's anything that goes through, she can, let you know. And honestly, we've had people just come by, stop by the house, be like, hey, I'd love to get this tea. I know you guys know at the farmer's market because we do it at the Lakeview Farmers Market in Cawthra Lakeshore. Great market. I mean, my mom loves that kind of stuff. She loves to get there, and it's great turnout. We have a lot of people coming through, talking about tea, learning about it. That's her MO. So we have people coming and buying tea from there. However, like today, we had someone say, hey, I can't wait till the weekend. Is it possible for me to pick it up? No problem. Yeah, sure, we could do it. If I were home, if we're able to do it, why not? Right? Mm-hmm. And we give you the direct price opposed to what's available in the stores because you're paying for that markup.
Awesome.
Yeah. Right. True.
Mm-hmm. So the relation now with Ayming and in the tea business. So now, were you working with the tea business? And you're like, man, there's money on the table. Mm-hmm. I need to get into and find out more about grants and all that kind of stuff. And how?
No, it's a very different story. So for me, I was actually working for a bank in the U.S. for a very long time. I won't name names or anything like that. But I worked with them for 6 years. I really, felt remote work after COVID. On top of that, just managing a team, it was just overwhelming. I don't see a real benefit to helping people necessarily. I feel like I'm just, shoving dirt under the carpet. That's what I felt like every day. So I really manifested what I'm doing right now, and I used up all my PTO. Traveled to El Salvador. I traveled to Costa Rica. I went to Cuba. Sorry, not Cuba. Not Cuba. Colombia. And I went to, Colombia was awesome. Oh my God. Colombia and Panama, right? So I just literally went and I saw and met people that were literally enjoying working and being out and living a work-life balance. I don't even know what that really even felt like, right? I literally 6, sometimes I start up at 12 in the morning. I mean, so the afternoon, work till like 12 at night. Still not finished my work. I still got to push it. It's just, it was too much to the point that it just didn't make sense for what I was getting to, what my income at that point was. It just didn't make sense. So I didn't have time for my own friends. I didn't have time for my family business. I couldn't really manage my time well with what I was doing. So I was him and hawing about it. Obviously when I meet my network, and I had I have friends that are really close to me. Like I have a buddy of mine. he's like, "Yo, why don't you just work with me until you figure out what you're gonna do," which is amazing. And he's JJ Careers, actually, Jesse J Careers.
Oh, cool.
Different JJ. And he does all the legal process serving and deliveries and stuff like that. He goes, just work with me until you find what you want to do. So I was doing it on the side, but also just as soon as I got back from this vacation, I saw people that were actually able to have a lifestyle, to be able to have that just happy, just smiling. You can see a difference in their tone of voice and their like demeanor, everything. And they're like, okay, I got to work in the morning. Okay, perfect. I'll see you guys at 2. I'll see you guys 3. I'm like, just living and working, and they get to travel, they get to do whatever, and be available to do what they do anywhere in the world, which was amazing. So just helping people whatever they're doing through a computer, right? I was also working on a computer. I needed 4 computers to work in my job previously. I literally had 2 big screens, one here and another tablet. It was just like, there's still not enough screens for me to do stuff, right? But what I did was when I got back, I think that was the end of my mindset to be able to be with this company. And I told, it's unexpected on who you actually connect with, even just me and you connecting, right? Opening up networks, being open to things, and being in the right place in the right time. It sometimes does factor in. And someone that I actually connected with, he tried to tell me about it a couple of years ago. He's like, come work with me. And I didn't at the time, because I was in a relationship. There was an uncertainty on her side of things. We were living together, and it didn't really make sense for me to just kind of up and leave. It was not responsible. So I stayed in the company for another 2 years. I got stuck in it even more. And then this opportunity came up. I literally just reiterated how I felt, and he's like, you know what, man, just let's connect again. We'll get this done. This is the process. And just walk me through. And he was a director of the company as well right now with Ayming. You know who you are if you're listening. So I love the fact that sometimes you don't know, even if it's not your closest friend, it's the unexpected people that really see the potential in you, and it doesn't matter who it is, right? So he basically reached out, and now connected me with Ayming, met up with my one of my directors, and a couple of meetings in, big on AI, which I'm big on AI too, and we use AI to match companies with their processes and what they can do with grants and funding, which is amazing. So it makes it easier for companies, and it's quicker too. So we had a couple of meetings together, and we started working together. And one of the things he said that really, really made me fall in love as well was, he said, be honest with your clients, you know what I mean, and just be transparent, fully transparent, makes things easier. A lot of my industries that I was in, that wasn't the case. That wasn't something that they promoted, right? And that alone just made me really fall in love too. I was like, this is great, and the environment's amazing. It's like the way I want to run what I need to run, as long as we're able to help people and help innovation. I'm happy. Sure. So that's how I kind of jumped into Ayming, and just understanding, even matching it with my parents' business and seeing what they do. And I'm like, I know there's a lot of things I wanted to bring into play. These grants are all available. All over the table. There's thousands, with tons of money available at this point. But no, government's not going to knock on your door and be like, oh, hey, by the way, here's some money for you because you're doing this. No chance. No, so, and the landscape is vast. So what we want to do is basically match that to those companies. So when he explained that to me and what we can do, and matching the opportunities that I even have in my own family business, it's great to kind of see what we can do for the Canadian businesses, Canadian market. It's amazing. So the only hesitation is the business owners themselves just trying to say, okay, what's happening here? How is their money, right? How is their money available? But there really is, and if the opportunity is there, and the beautiful thing is working with Ayming, and again, more than most companies that does grants and SRED, accountants do it. There's companies that specifically do SRED. There's specific companies do grants. We do everything: tax credits, benefits, optimization, you name it. So we work on a success fee base. So that means we need to make sure we're making you money before we even make a percentage of whatever that amount of money is. It's not a base fee. It's not nothing like that. We just make sure that we are making you money. So continuously, we work for 3 years to match your grants, and that also helps us find out, is there SRED, so we can kind of cover your SRED, which is your scientific research, experimental development as well. So all around, helping innovation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow,
That's
dude.
great. Thanks for taking the show.
So
All right,
immersive.
so today's show now.
You should start a podcast.
Perfect. That was actually a talk when I said that.
That was good. I was like, I feel like I gotta step in any moment here, ask a question. But
Sorry, man.
no, it's great. I love it. So walk us through, like, because Cal and I we're looking to start a couple of business ventures. Like, how does someone apply to it? How does someone reach out to you or you give us a real life example? Like, how would we come to you or your team and get grants? And in particular, what kind of grants are available?
So it is a customized approach. So not necessarily a cut and dry, here's what we're going to use from what this person was to you. So what we do is we customize the grant writing process. So we make sure that we use the right people for it. We have PhDs, we have doctors, we have people that are able to understand your business or the market or the industry that's been doing it with other companies, that they're able to match what those similar criteria is, but also understanding what your needs are. What is your plan for the next next year? Is it this year? Is it the next year? Is it 2 years? We work with you for 3 years minimum just to get started, to kind of figure out what those plans are. So we work from the grant side of things as well as the SRED side of things. So SRED is what we call it in the industry.
Yeah, what is SRED?
SRED. So it's scientific research, experimental development, right? So with that, it's basically simple as developing a new product or process or improving an existing product or process. So I could probably say a good example, maybe Uber, right? Like they figured out a way that something was working. They tried a new technology, try to see how they can go around it. And SRED is very lucrative. Like there's so many avenues and a lot of money you can make from it. And companies that shut down and kind of close up, they may have sometimes not even used that opportunity to be able to gain that money back from the experimental development that they've done, the scientific research or research and development that they've done. So they'll say, okay, what I spend on is, oh my God, I can't get to where I needed to go. I don't have any more money. We're going to shut down. So what the government does is we say, no, please, let's keep going, right? Let's keep going. Let's make sure, is this eligible to be able to cover those SRED costs? And would they actually provide that? It could be hiring. It could be, waste. It could be anything from any new products you bought, any sort of subcontracted companies you hire, anything. We try to cover those end of things. So it's basically, let's say this is the start of the plan. So you decide, something that I'm doing right now, it's not working. I need to figure out a way to get to getting this work. Is there something there? Do I need to do the research for it? Right. So that's the start of SRED. So when we start doing that, we need to see, ideally the scale is in find the avenue, Googled it, found the answer, boom, that's not SRED, right? I Googled it. There's nothing available in the market here. There's nothing, no products, no services that are available to get this done. How do I get that done? So the scale goes from start, problem, second problem, go down from here, go up, go down from here. There's another issue here. Then you hit the end. It's just absolutely hitting walls, right? And then you come to that point that it's like, this is a plan that you've tried everything. You've done everything you needed to do. You've done the research for it. You didn't just stop and say, it's not working. I'll find another way around it. No, did you go through it? Right. So the government wants to make sure you're doing whatever you can to find new innovation. Like that's how things like Uber, for example, came into play. There's a problem there. They figured out a way around it. Right. So SRED comes in all different avenues that you can look into that can help, companies grow from whatever they are to not just stop what they're doing, to keep going, to start innovation. So let me give you an example of some things that we can actually, talk about that would cover SRED benefits. So for example, like wireless communications, medical biotechnology, that's a big one right now because a lot of research that comes into those SRED is huge with those biotech companies, right? Food development, energy, alternatives, like even green, clean. How did you put clean technology into the into the environment? Is it LEDs you use instead of something else? Is this LED technology required? Is this something in the market like that? No, let's just figure out how to get there, right? Software development, machine learning, computer vision, lightning technology, cybersecurity, and manufacturing. So a lot of those kind of companies we work with that are available, that you literally go into stores and buy something, and next week you probably see a new product that's out there with a new method, like better greasing or better oil, systems. As simple as that little marketing technology, they've gone through a lot to kind of get there, and sometimes SRED is covered between what that would be. So
wow.
That's SRED, yeah.
So they're basically like shredding money.
Yeah. No. We have no shredders.
But it says the spending money, that's what it probably feels like, right? Yeah.
But also the biggest thing is if you have a company that has a patent, right? If you build a patent for it, if you've hired people to kind of get there, that's a strong SRED claim.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus. So if you guys have any ideas or want to innovate something, new products, whatever it may be, you want to bring it to market, export it, a product, or try and make a process better, then it might,
And the way to find, I mean, this is the thing, navigating through this landscape is hard. And just going through and reading stuff, it's not easy. We're risk-free. I mean, reaching out to us and getting a consultation side of things, there's no cost to you. The only thing is making sure that if we're able to make you money that you didn't even know existed, I mean, we all work for money, right? But we only make a percentage based on what you're able to make back in. So it's not like a cut and dry. We need to make 300,000. You're making 350,000. I mean, that's not fair. So we make a percentage of what you're able to gain, and sometimes it can go in the millions, right? So we work with large scale companies all the way to very small companies that are just literally doing bread, right? So the best way to do it, reach out to me. At Ayming, reach out to me, and then I will set up a meeting with our guys, consultation. I'll send a form to make sure we do NDAs. We just like we have to sign forms. We want to make sure that we sign that we are not going to be sharing this information, of course, and what we're going to be doing for you while we're here, what we are able to do. And once we do that, and we find an opportunity to be able to do a SRED claim or a grant claim, that's when I'm going to come in and we'll have an agreement together. Which again just means I need to make you money before I make money. Simple.
Wow.
Yeah.
It just sounds too good to be true.
That's what I'm saying. Why is my phone not ringing? I'm just looking for this ring. It's not.
Are we live? Like I just feel like it's just like where's the scam link? Like I just click here.
The thing is, it is available. Like as a consumer, and let's say you have your business, it does have to be a CCPC, right? But the thing is, it does need the opportunity. We need to be able to navigate it, and the biggest challenge that we have here and why we're here to do it is we've done it millions and millions of times. We've made I think at this point we have about 20,000 clients working with us, and companies that you literally see every day that are with Ayming, and some companies that's been with us since the start of Ayming. So our company Ayming is the first grant practice in Canada. So the first one to ever do it. And then basically what we're going to be, sharing our experience with is the fact that once we're able to do these claims, it's an easier process. We know what to ask for. So you're not sitting here doing the wrong things, and Sierra sends the email back, saying, oh, sorry, you need to do this is wrong. And the process of taking that time to be able to do it, it is a first come, first served basis. There is time frames for some of these grants. So you take the time to do it. They're not going to sit here and be like, oh, we'll wait for you. No. They're going to definitely, need to get these things done. So we do the process. We know what to ask for. We provide the claim. We do the claim for you. We do it in time to make sure that you're going to be able to get that in. And the biggest other aspect to it is they're also going to see who did this claim. Is it going to be you for the first time? Of course. Audits are always done, especially for a first time, if you're going to be claiming for the first time. But we want to make sure when we have our name on it, there is a sense of, reputation that we go with. So when they see that, it's a lot less issues for you going all the way through to kind of cover them. Most of the time, they don't even go through with any sort of audits just because they know Ayming is a part of the process. So we've been doing it for a very long time. Our guys, have that connection. They've been doing it for a very long time. That they are literally well versed. That's what we do. We don't just do taxes as well on the side. We're not an accounting firm. We are a grants and SRED firm that specializes in this. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So save yourself time, save yourself the energy, the stress, the headache, and maybe even the potential money that you would lose, and let Ayming help.
Yeah. Love that. What a sales pitch. I love it. I'm ready to buy.
All right, man. Well, we got the contract over.
Yeah.
Oh wow! And that is Ayming.
Ayming.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And just to give a little story of like Ayming, like how long have they been around? How big is the team? Do you know?
35 years. We are 15 plus countries. We're based in France. So our main location, we started out in France, of course, and they're all over. Right now in Canada, our focus is Central because there's a lot of grants that are going to be offered right now in Central. So we're trying to make sure companies are aware of it. We're trying to make sure that we're working with companies in a more of a direct pace, that we're not just doing one grant for you and then walking away. We're making sure we stick with you for 3 years. So we have in Canada, Vancouver as well as Montreal, and the Toronto-based office, which is in Etobicoke. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess like even if you work with a client one time and then you see that a grant comes up, you're like, hey, just want to let you guys know that this is now available. If you guys have anything else going on, let us know. And all that kind of stuff. So.
AI tech. So that means, but as soon as we figure out and we kind of keep our clients based on what their industry is agriculture, because it does factor in, because agriculture, a new grant comes up, then we'll make sure that we are able to connect it. Is it something that we can actually match with their needs at this point. We know what their needs are at this point because they've mentioned it to us. The only thing is some clients, I mean, we want to know if you're just thinking of something new, run it by, it's like, let us know, keep us in the loop, see what's going on. Because we do reach out periodically, say, hey, is there anything new going on? Like I just reached out to a vision company that actually does, stability on vision, what do you call it, like fixture or corrections, right? And they had things going on, but they just, we just reached out proactively rather than having them kind of reach out to us, right? So I do periodic reaching out to these clients, but we do follow the money. So that means if there's something that is going on, we follow those companies and we say, hey, listen, this is what's going on. Your company can potentially, be eligible. Can we look into something that we can do? So when we get our guys together, we sit down, we go through it all together. So it's like one process there. Once you're connected with us, we kind of continue to follow through and help you out. So it's a no-brainer, really.
Just a lot of value,
Just a lot of value. Yeah. I don't want to. I'm not
calling
sitting here
you with money,
Right. I'm not sitting here selling you products in any way. You know what I mean? I want to make sure there's money there for you. I'll just match the money for your needs. There you go. Right. But a lot of people don't do that and just don't even know. They walk away from that money right on the table, which is insane. So,
like, I'm sure for everybody that's watching or looking at it, like, there's probably a lot of business owners that watch a podcast like this or listen to it. Like, what are some popular small businesses that the government gives grants to? That's
So there's NDA, so there's a couple of things we can't really discuss as to what businesses there, obviously, just because they want to make sure. There are some businesses out there that are actually able to, they'll put it out there. I think if you go to Ayming itself, ayming.ca, there may be some businesses that are able to show what the company is because we do assign something for them. But just to make sure we don't really obviously share what we're able to do, how they're able to achieve certain funding.
I see.
So,
right.
That is
non-disclosure.
there. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wrong question there.
No, it's okay. But let me just say, I mean, realistically,
just like from your comment there before, like when you said like as small as like a bread company. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like like literally anyone that wants to get into scaling their business or growing their business that needs a little help from the funding, like it's worth the shot just to reach out to someone like you in Ayming just to help their business grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. And for us, we just sit down, we'll have the right people there, figure out, is there a possibility? And then we'll also give you an idea as to what's required. Like a lot of companies, including my family business, right? That T4ing aspect of it. Like a lot of people don't T4 themselves. They won't even get themselves an income. And that doesn't help be able to, get certain grants or funding or a SRED, right? It's good to have that T4 aspect of it, making sure that you're incorporated. A lot of companies are out there, even at the farmers markets, that are not incorporated, right? So you want to make sure if you're incorporated, then that helps the government because they see that you are paying into the taxes, right? So T4 employees are really helpful. That can kind of cover a lot of aspects of new hires, hiring from schools. All those kind of things are important. So if you're looking to scale, like even a small bread company can be having those kind of things, hiring the people right from school. That kind of covers a lot of things. Subcontractors to do something like infrastructure development. You know what I mean? Something changing your product from a bread maker that's actually using a lot more energy to a energy efficient bread maker. You know what I mean? The energy that you're using for it, using the lights, changing the lights from something that is using a lot more energy to like something like LEDs, LED strips, some new company that you can work with. So anything.
Wow.
Yeah, changes to the business we want to help.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I love it. I just feel like who's not applying today?
It's like everyone we run into now. Everyone that's on the podcast, like, have you thought about grants? Like, we know a guy,
And that's what I was looking at. I was like, hey, do I connect with all these people?
I know. We got a list of 20 people. We just.
But again, if we don't see anything, we definitely don't want to waste anyone's time. But at the same time, even if you do sign up with us, we'll see if there's something coming up in the future. So as soon as it does come up, by being a part of our, client base at Ayming, doesn't mean we're going to be charging you a monthly fee. There's no nothing like that. It's just if we find something, there's a way to match it. We'll reach out to you and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. You still have to give us a go ahead. We won't just randomly just start doing grants for you. So it's just it is a no-brainer, but it does give hesitation because a lot of people are like, okay, maybe I could do it too, but that won't happen. If you look at the paperwork, sometimes they can go up like 200-300 pages, man. Like it's not easy.
Like, do you guys just work with businesses that have been running for a certain amount of time, or do you guys work with like a brand new business or idea that's just starting and they're like, you know what, we need
ideally want to make sure, again, startups are fine. Ideally sticking to about a year, 2 years ideal for being able to get you the grants, being able to get that process going, because they want to see what you kind of started with, what you're doing. It's not just a random idea that you want to innovate, but you want to make sure that you have that incorporation. You're T4ing yourself if you can, ideally, those kind of things we do look into. But the biggest thing that I'm seeing startups coming up right now is the IT side of things. So that's one of the big ones. But yeah, I mean, we can work with whatever, but it's just ideally 1 to 2 years if you're in business, great. And we do have a couple of questions that we have to go through to kind of ask you what you have to go through, and if it's something like a startup, we'll have
And even the same startup company that let's say couldn't apply or maybe got a smaller grant in another year or 2
Yep.
or 3 years, they could still apply
Exactly.
again, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, wow.
And that's the thing when we connect with you, and if you say, you know what, we still want you to be one of our grant experts, we want to be a part of your have a partnership basically. Once you connect, in the next little bit, you say, these are the plans. As I said before, we sometimes connect again and say, hey, listen, what are you guys up to? What's going on? What's new with your company? Give us an idea. Are you hiring more people? How'd you hire them? Any infrastructure changes? Did you have come through any issues that you're trying to fix at this point? So as we kind of develop that relationship, or you proactively reaching out to me saying, hey, Ramesh, this is what we're doing now. Is there any opportunity that we can look at grants? Great. That saves me some time, or maybe some time to be able to find that grant for you or reach out to you, right? Because I'm matching grants based on your needs that you initially told me. That there may have been a change since then, right? So there's all these little avenues that we can look into, but signing up with us and being a part of us doesn't cost you anything, right? It's just once we do the grant and we're able to find you the money, you have to physically get the money in your hands before you're able to, and you're paying us, not the government paying us.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
And normally kind of the processing time. So if, I call you, I have a great idea, big innovation for a product.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you give me a hand? How long is that kind of process from start to finish?
Just to decide what it is?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
like-
let's maybe a day. Yeah, we'll have the right people there, depending on, of course, what kind of project it is. Then I'll just make sure that I have the right folks involved to be able to be on that call. So if it's like a grant, we'll have the right grant writers based on your industry. If it's a SRED, then I'll make sure I have the SRED guys there available. It's just a time frame of availability, and then once we decide what that is, we'll match it together. Our available information and technology that we have can match that in a day. Just the process of getting the grant in your hands, that's going to be up to the information you provide to us, how fast you get that over to us. Once we have everything together and we're able to get the filing done, which you'll be assigned that grant writer or SRED writer that's going to be doing that work for you. They will be your point of contact, so they'll keep you updated, and once they're ready to go, they'll send it in within that deadline or time frame if there is one. And that's just going to be when the government's able to fund you. Now, the beautiful thing about working with Ayming too is we have a fund, I think it's like a couple $1 million fund that's available to us that we can actually fund you, at a percentage basically to be able to fund whatever project you want to start now. Like if you don't have the funds physically available and you want to get that funding now, we could do that. But if you're okay with it, a lot of these projects are forward facing for grants. You kind of have the process going. You're ready with if it's an angel investor or whatever, you have money there, or if you have your own money that you're going to be using, that's the project I'm going to be doing. You're already ready because a grant, you have to be ready for it and to get going, but you can't start it until we get the approval, right? So that's something that keep in mind. But we have to make sure that you have a process in play because you get a percentage of what that is, right? Depending on what grant we can find you. So they all change, they all vary, how much we can get back.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then beyond actually getting the grant, is there any like monitoring by the government or anything like that you have to kind of report back and be like, this is what we did with the money, this is how we spent it, and all that kind
We
of stuff?
do all the legwork for you in that aspect. The main thing is with audits, first time audits, first time grants, SRED, they do audits to make sure that portion of it, not the entire company as a process, just to make ssure that is being handled. Are you meeting those deadlines as you mentioned? Are you meeting the targets? And sometimes there's some benefits with grants that actually allow a percentage of money, like some payable grants, they can actually say, funding that could say, you know what, if you do all the work within the target time, we don't have to pay this much back for funding, right? But for like grants and stuff like that, they're offered to you. I mean, they are gonna they will do the audit for the first time if you've ever never done it before. But having a company like Ayming, it just gives you that peace of mind because sometimes, when they look at it, like, okay, it looks like everything should be here. It's Ayming, right? Or a company that's been doing SREDs with them, or grants or whatever, they'll just, avoid that whole process. But we can't guarantee what the government's going to do with that aspect of it. But it's making sure that we are getting the information clearly, that we're not providing falseful information. We're doing it in a way that we word it in the right way possible that the governments or the CRA is looking for. They want to see those words. They want to hear this is what you're doing. So we know that stuff. We've been doing it for years, 35 years plus.
Wow.
You know, so it makes it easier for you.
Yeah,
Jesus,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Again, I'm blown away. Like I thought we had one guy on the show who was a recruiter.
Yeah.
Like this, just like you know what I mean, like
No offense, Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer, be like, you're a good guy and all, but just this just blows you right out of the water. I mean,
So to be honest, I mean, even for myself, I don't think I wish I could get one of my guys with me too. I would have been like, these guys, I listen to them too. Like I hear a lot of opportunities that they can think right off the bat by grants and SRED that's available, that they can actually just work on things and talk about, this is what we're going to get for you. This is the percentage. This is what we can do. And it blows my mind too. This landscape is so vast that it's not something that I can have on the top of my head. It is things that I would need. You know what I mean? I would need to have certain things available to me to kind of match those things to say, you know what, this is what his initiatives are. And we have a team that works together to say, is this right? Can we do this? Is it viable? Is it going to be beneficial for the company? So there's a whole, a methodology that we actually work with that, helps the company not have to sit there and be in the dark. We make sure that you're going to be making money before we kind of say, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. This is going to happen. We make sure that we get the work done for you. So I know for a fact there's a lot in this landscape that like, it would need from me again in the next have this when you guys the next 5 years or so when you're doing the podcast in this gold office. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but
yeah.
I'll come back in and at that point I'm gonna throw in some more fun facts for you guys. But even right now, it's just the opportunity is just the open mindedness to be able to have a company reach out and say, hey, this is what my plan is. This is what I want to do. I have an idea. How can I do this? And we can kind of even the experience say, this is something maybe you should look at, right? I'll give you an example. I had a lady that I was talking about, the retina vision thing, right? Basically, I don't want to say the company's name, that's why I want to avoid it. They were talking about hiring, and they only hired like school kids. At a point, they were hiring like school children, basically right off, 16 or whatever, official working children to help them with little things that they need to do and learn things. So our specialist said, why don't you guys look into hire from like universities, colleges, because that is actually a benefit that governments pay for to be able to have employment coming, so they want to get that experience. Literally on the phone call that I reached out to her, she didn't pick up the first time. Then she called me back. She goes, hey, I'm so sorry, I was busy, whatever. And then she goes, hey, by the way, I talked to one of your guys, and from what he said, I'm now hiring college universities. Is there something we can do? Perfect, right? So we do have the experience. So we're like, okay, this is something that we had before that didn't work based on this issue. This might be something you can look into. So some people it's like a seed, then it slowly grows and there's an opportunity. Like, yeah, I could have this kid, coming in from high school, or I could have someone from college that actually, is looking to do something and grow. And they supposedly had someone start a new software program for him. And I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need. So we do have the experience. So just reaching out to us and having that discussion is as simple as it is as for us to, and again, it's no risk-free, just give me a call, and I'll make sure that I'll have the right people there, or just a conversation between me and them. And at that point, I will come back to them and say, yeah, we could do something here, or, and that could be a couple of days. It could be a day. It could be literally the day of. So,
Sure. Yeah. So how do they get in touch with you to get, figure out if they can get a grant or just talk about their business and what needs that they may have and all that kind of stuff?
So I'm not sure if you guys can put the phone numbers in the bottom of your things.
Oh,
sure. If that's the case, 416-896-3847. I don't know. It's not really a cool number that I can put in there. But again, you can go to ayming.ca, reach out, and even just put put your needs or whatever, your business information, just say business name, contact number, and we can reach out to you and have an agent going in. But the better option is reach out to me. Yeah. So,
on LinkedIn, all that kind of stuff.
I'm on LinkedIn as well. It's our peers at ayming.ca. If you have some sort of, questions, you want to say, hey, let's connect. I am on LinkedIn a lot. I'm connecting with a lot of businesses right through there as well. I love LinkedIn. It's spectacular. And if you ever need anything, of course, the information, hopefully it's in the bottom. You guys can reach out to me, and I'll connect. I'll have a meeting set up for you at any point, whatever's convenient for you guys, and we can adjust a meeting together. So
sure.
I just gotta it sounds like you love what you do. I do. And one thing I want to know, I'm sure for people who are watching, because it's not like this is an average job. What are the job requirements to have a position like yours?
I think one of the biggest things, and I mean, when I was looking at the qualifications, and again, they do have some of this available online as well. They want to make sure that you have a business development background. Have you had accounts that you've been able to manage, right? And basically, one of the biggest things that I find that's amazing with Ayming is they want to look for soft skills. We just had a job dating event, which was spectacular. All we did, we went in, we had some fun events. The questions were kind of built into seeing how people can navigate through them. It's not like a direct, hey, what did you do? What did you do for this job? They just literally had questionnaires that was fun, questions that may have been not necessarily directed to the business, but necessarily understanding how did you come across this, how did you come to this answer? What did you think about it? There's no wrong answer, but what's your thought process, right? So Ayming really looks at that full picture, because in this industry, it's not necessarily what we need to technically know. We don't want to sit here talking about, and I mean, you were saying there's a lot of info. It's true. And I'm even trying to filter whatever it could be, right? Yeah. But it's like really connecting with people, right? And understanding why do something that's really available in the market. Let me help you walk you through that. This business does require a lot of soft skills that you can use from a sales background, the business development background. Education-wise, I know they do need a master's. I know the master's was required. I don't have a master's personally, but my sales experience and business development background really did help. But again, it's just the fact that they want to make sure those soft skills utilized for connecting with businesses and companies are there. Overall, I mean, having a decent development background is important in the industry, because even in sales, it's just the fact of like car sales, you said you were in it as well. You have all different walks of life. In this industry, you have all different walks of life. You have IT folks, very different how you connect with IT folks, right? Agriculture, very different. You know what I mean? Some of them, even with the manufacturing side, they want you to come to the manufacturing plant, right? So it's very different how you interact. But even in the car sales industry, it was so different. And understanding people is not about what they're wearing and what they're asking for. It's like they already did their research. They're walking through the door for a reason, right? How do I connect with them? They want to buy from you. I've had clients tell me, hey, listen, man, I want to show you the deal that the other dealership gave me. And it's better than ours. And I'm like, why did you come back? Because I want to do business with you. And that's what I look for. You know what I mean? I think that's something that Ayming looks for as well. How do you connect with people, right? And they're huge on their, how they deal with their clients. So I'm happy to be with this company as well. And that's something that's big in this particular company. I don't know what the other grand companies are like.
Yeah, wow. I feel like we could talk all day, but we're definitely going to end the podcast soon. But one thing we love to do is ask every guest, if you could give yourself 20-year-old advice, what would it be?
You know what? I'd say invest.
Yeah.
For sure. But to be honest, I would say if I could go back and do what if they say, go back 20 years and what would you do again? I honestly, I'd do it all over again. It was a good ride, man.
Cool. Yeah, it's great to story too.
Travel, experience life, and I can tell you, living in North America, the things you don't see and hear is huge. It's amazing. And I mean, I've had that background from back home, things that I've seen. So traveling and seeing the world really opens up your mind of how people are, how cultures work, and just be respectful. That's all I can really say, yeah.
Jeez, man.
And what goals do you have for yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Goals-wise, again, definitely travel more, see more of the world. But at the same time, I definitely want to, scale my business, my personal family business as well, and also just to have a massive client base to be able to have that referral business coming through, help businesses through, and to be able to maybe, do something of my own. So that's kind of the plan. We'll see.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being part of today's podcast. Really appreciate you being a part of it, Ramesh.
Awesome.
And if anybody is looking to get a hold of Ramesh in regarding Ayming for grants, anything like that, or just advice, I'm definitely going to be reaching out to him after this podcast for sure. But thank you to everyone for being a part of today's podcast and listening. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button and make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll catch you in the next podcast. See you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Wow. Great job.
Come on, man.
You're an animal.
Dude, come on, dude. I mean, there was a lot. I was still just.